Hi everyone, we're here with Coco and Claire again today, and we're gonna do a water soak off mani. So I'm just soaking off one finger here. Hi everyone. And then I got the other ones all prepped for you for the rest. So we're gonna go a little backwards just so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me soak for the next 15 minutes. But so you wanna have all your equipment ready before we get started. So to soak off, this is my nail. It just has the base on it, 2 coats of colored polish, and then a coat of shine. So I'm just gonna zoom in here a little for you. And if you guys have any questions throughout, you can let me know. Am I sideways or am I right side up? Good question. Ooh. Can you guys let me know if I'm sideways for you? I seem like I'm sideways on my other screen. Oh, I am. What? I'm just gonna change this around. Sorry about that. Sometimes it lets you go one way and sometimes it doesn't. Ah, there we go. That's a little better. Okay, so we got our nail and we want to remove it. So we are going to, if your nails aren't, if they're growing out quite a bit, you don't have to push back your cuticles. They're not in the way. But if they're not growing out very far and you want to change it, which mine aren't growing out very far, you just want to push back your cuticles. This is our Coco and Claire cuticle tool. And then we're going to take our file and we're going to take, this is the 180-240. So you either want your 180 or your 100, just because we have gel on top. So we're going to file the edge super good so that there's no, remember how you cap your edge? You want to get all that capping off. And then we're going to file the top and you want to get all the top coat off. And go right around these edges in here, because that's where the water is going to go. The way the soak off base works is it absorbs the water that you're soaking in. And I'll just wipe this off so you guys can see. Absorbs the water that you're soaking in, so then that's what makes the base kind of fall off. So we got gel taken off on the edges going all the way around and the shine off of the top. If you take off your color, that's fine. It'll even soak off better the more you take off, or the faster the more you take off. I'm just gonna dip this and then you're gonna put it in as hot of water as you can handle, not boiling obviously, but as hot as you can handle. You can add a little bit of dish soap, any kind is fine. Soak it for at least 10 minutes. And your soaking time will just depend on you. It'll depend on how long you've had your manicure on for. If you put a little bit of prep on your tip. Some people just hold on to gel more than other people. I tend to hold on to mine really good, so I usually have to soak for a good 20 minutes. But some people can soak for 10 and it just peels right off. So it all just depends on the person. And then, so after you've soaked for at least 10 minutes, give it a little try. Out of the water, give it a wipe. And then you're just going to want to, so we filed this one for demo, but we're going to peel this one off. I've been soaking for a bit before I started the video. So you just want to catch one of the edges. And sometimes with either your orange stick, there it goes, your orange stick or your cuticle tool. So there's an edge. Can you guys kind of see that? Like it's kind of starting to come. And for some Some people, it'll all peel off in one big layer, and some people will just peel off in little chunks. It just depends how well it sticks to you, really. Everyone is kind of different. Like I said, I hold on to gel really well. I have really dry natural nails, so the less oil you naturally have, technically the better, but it also means you have really thin nails usually. And I'm not forcing it, I'm just kind of pushing in like you would push your cuticle and then kind of just flicking up a little bit. If it hurts or it feels like it's pulling too much, then you need to soak longer. And then you can just, yeah, like even rubbing it with my finger, it's starting to peel off. There it goes. There's one big chunk. And if I wanted this to peel off just a touch easier, I'd probably soak it for another 5 minutes on myself. But it's coming. But we don't want to damage the nail. If it's not coming up as easily as this or easier, you want to soak a little more. And I'm not digging in, I'm not touching my natural nail plate. I'm just touching the gel. It kind of gets like rubbery feeling, if that makes sense. And then, yeah, it all peels off. Now, sometimes, because the rubber base, sorry, not the rubber base, the water base, sometimes will hold on really good. And you might have a little bit left on your nail afterwards. So you just want to take the residue remover. This comes free when you order a base in any of the kits and stuff, I believe. Also, if you have an older kit and you didn't get a residue remover, just send us an email at orders@coconclair.com and she will throw one in your next order for free. So that's a little bit of residue remover on a cotton swab or a piece of paper towel, something like that, cotton ball even, and just give it a good wipe. And that gets the rest of the little bit that's on there. There wasn't really hardly any on mine. There's a teeny tiny bit at the very edge. And that takes the rest of it off. And that's removal. So that was soaking, for myself, that was soaking almost 20 minutes. Filing, buffing, soaking 20 minutes and peeling off. And just keep soaking longer. If for some reason it's not coming off with water, because there is the odd person that will happen with, you can take your residue remover, soak a cotton ball with it, and place the cotton ball or a swab or something, just place a cotton ball on that and wrap your finger in tin foil, something to kind of hold the moisture in, and just let it sit on there for 10 minutes or so, and it will soak it off. And if you guys have seen our little peel off base, some of you might have got it in your kits. It's also on, I think it's on the website. It's on the VIP group. I know that for sure. But I will try and link it at the bottom of this video. It just tells you how to soak off properly and how to use the peel off base. All right, so now that we soaked off, now we're gonna start with our manicure. So if you want to see a detailed how to prep your nails, watch last week's video. It goes more into depth. But we're just going to push back our cuticles. Make sure if you've soaked for quite a while, like see like this finger is all kind of a little wrinkly from soaking in the water, just make sure it's super dry before you even start. Like if you want to soak off and then go have supper and come back and do your manicure, that's even better. The drier, the better. So we're going to push back our cuticles. We're going to use our little nippers and take off any little flying little pieces that we have. Not removing lots, just removing the like dead stuff that's just hanging out. And then we're going to take our file and we're going to use the 240 side, which is the smoother side. The higher the number, the smoother the grit. And we're going to go little circles all the way around. Don't mind me, I had a hangnail there earlier this morning and bad me was picking at it and shouldn't have. So just make sure you get all the corners, especially right in here, because that's where you'll get your lifting. That and the edge, and your edge is where you'll get your lifting first. So and then just even out your shape however you want it. Give it a dust with the brush. This is the big, Rosie's big sister brush, I want to say. And then I like to give it a spray with the cleanse. I just personally like everything clean and dry, but you don't have to. So clean off with the cleanse, and then we're ready for our manicure. So number 1 is clean. So we don't want to touch anything with these nails because they are clean and dry already. So if you touch them with your other fingers and stuff, you'll get oil on them and stuff. So we're going to take our clean, and the brush can hold a bit in the bristles. So I like to start halfway, go up, and go down, just so then you don't it gets rid of that little extra blob at the beginning. So that is clean. And we're going to let that just dry for about 15 seconds, and you'll see how it's starting to go. Like, see how that one's a little shiny and pink still? These ones are starting to go kind of chalky looking. That's what you want. You want them to look dry and chalky. See, the next step is optional. The next step is number 2. Oops. Number 2, which is prep. And prep is completely optional. You don't have to use it. We recommend you actually try it without it first. And if it works for you without it, great. If it doesn't, then for a water soak off manicure, we are only going to put prep on the very, 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 very tip. So just very, very, like I'm touching like the side edge of the tip, if that makes sense. So just the very tip, but try not to get it on your skin. All right, and then we'll let that dry for about 10 seconds. And then our next one is going to be the peel off base number 3. So the base works, the more base there is, the more it will attract water when you go to soak it off. So you either want to apply in 2 thin coats or 1 thicker coat. If you're newer to doing this, I would recommend 2 thin coats, just so that you don't get it on to your skin unintentionally. And we also want our little Cocoa and Claire lamp. Make sure your lamp turns on before you get started. So we're going to put base coat, same idea. I like to touch it in the middle to get rid of that extra that you may not want. Wipe off anything extra that you don't need. And we're going to put on a coat. So if you're putting on 2 thin coats, this is what you would want. So 2 slightly thin coats, it's enough to cover it, you don't see lines. And then you would cure that for 45 seconds, which on our lamps is 1 click. And I'm just going to do a little bit thicker coats so that we don't have to cure it twice. But yeah, I would recommend doing only one thick coat if you have done it quite a bit. So then we're going to do one click of our little lamp. You want to make sure that your fingers are underneath and they're within the range of the lights. If the lights can't hit them, hit your fingers, it's not going to cure them. So you don't want to sit outside here with your fingers. They need to be directly underneath these little guys. So we'll let that cure. Do you have to use prep with Soak Off Gel? No, you do not have to use the prep. The prep is completely optional. To make it a water soak off, you have to use our base. If you use prep on the tip of your nail, that's okay. It will still soak off with water, except for that teeny tiny little bit on the tip won't soak off, but you're going to file your nails shorter generally anyway, so it's usually not a problem. If you put prep on your entire nail, the water soak off base will not work. It kind of cancels it out, and then you have to use acetone. And I'll do a video on that. Probably the next manicure we do, we'll do using prep and that kind of stuff in a acetone soak off. So we just got prep on the very, very tip. If we put it on anywhere else, the water soak off is not going to work. So there is our soak off base cured and on here, and it is still sticky. So you can't just walk around with it like this. It needs to stay sticky so that it will attach to the color gel. So we're going to put on color gel. Today we got 393 Strawberry Squeeze. Bright red, so you guys can see it really good. All right, so I like to go in, same thing, in the middle, and then move up and come down the middle and come down the sides. Wipe off any excess you have. Less is more. You can always pick up more, but if you put too much on, then you got a mess going on. So if you're not 100% comfortable getting close with the brush, then you can also use, you can tip your brush lid upside down like that. And this is the dual-ended detailer brush. I got the little end. You can pick up some gel. So I'm just literally picking up gel off of one brush and putting it on the other brush. And you can take that and go around the very edges. And some people just find it easier to control a tiny brush. Some people find it easier to control a big brush. Just personal preference. Practice helps. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. But there's no right or wrong. Just try not to touch your skin. If you touch your skin, you're going to want to wipe it off with some cleanse or use like your orange stick or a dotting tool and kind of go in there and just like clean up what you had touched. So that is one coat, and with this gel, it's pretty concentrated. So this color, you'll probably only need one coat. If you do two, if you feel like it needs two, don't try and make it do one coat because you'll start having trouble curing. So 2 thin coats is better than 1 thick coat when it comes to the color gel. So that is 1 thin coat of color gel on top. And I'm going to show you. And then on this nail, if you wanted a little bit more strength than just your colored gel, you can use Step 4 Strong, which is like our builder gels. It's slightly different in chemistry than the builder gels, but does exactly the same thing. So if you want a little bit more strength, you can put this on before you put on your color gel. Just put on a nice thin coat. Give it a second to kind of settle, just so it gets all the lines out, and then we're gonna cure both of those for 45 seconds to a minute. And 45 seconds on these little lamps is 1 click. So both nails have base. One nail only has color gel. The other nail right now only has a thin coat of strong on. And the strong will soak off with the soak off base as long as you have enough base underneath it. And you may just have to soak it longer. You guys got any other questions for me today? Okay, so this nail color is done. This nail we're going to put 1 coat of color on so he can join his friend. Same thing, start in the middle, work your way up to the cuticle and down. Get rid of the excess if you need to. And go down one side, down the other. Make sure to get your very edge because this is your natural nail, so it needs something to stick to. And use your detailer brush if you feel you need to get in closer to your cuticle than what you're comfortable doing with the big brush. Okay, and then cure again. And if you felt you needed a second coat, then you would do a second coat after you cure it. It just really depends on the gels. Like lots of yellows and the light pinks need second coats for sure. Some of the glitters, it just depends how concentrated you want the glitters to look, on whether you need a second coat or not. It really just depends on you, how you want to see it. But yeah, 2 thin coats is better than 1 thick coat when it comes to color gel. So then our next step when these are done is going to be our top coat. So we got shine, or we got matte. There's the quail eggs and mini egg ones. There we have a couple glitter ones. There's a few different ones. They're all the same. They all cure with 45 seconds, 1 minute. They all cure tack-free except for our gloss, top gloss is the only one that doesn't cure tack-free. So and by tack-free, I mean when it's all done and all cured, you can touch it right away and it's not sticky. It might feel a little rubbery until it kind of cools down, but it's not sticky. So for these, same thing. Start in the middle, work your way up, and come down on either side. And your top gloss is kind of what holds everything in. It's what keeps the water from like your bath, your shower, washing dishes, that kind of stuff out of the base until you're ready to soak it off. So you want to make sure you do your top gloss well. So you want to cap your free edge. So by that, I'm meaning this very, very edge, you want to cover it with gel. And of course, the longer your nails are, the little easier that is. When they're super short like this, it makes it a little harder to get in there. But you can. If you get it on your skin, just wipe it off. And there, that's 1 coat or top coat. Generally, you only need 1 coat. If you're doing something like putting some chrome art on or stamping, I would recommend 2 coats of top gloss, regardless of which top gloss you use. I'd recommend 2 coats. some of the top gloss is like the mini matte egg. If you needed 2 top coats, but you don't want more of the little black flecks that are in the mini egg, you could do 1 coat of the mini egg and then 1 coat of just the regular matte top coat or the regular shine top coat. And then you're not getting more of the little flecks or glitter or anything like that in it, but you're getting 2 coats of top coat on them. So then we'll let this cure. And you always want to cure for the full time, completely all at once, especially with the color gels. If you only cured for like 10 seconds, let's say, you're going to sometimes start to get wrinkling because gel doesn't like it when you only cure it part way. It gets all angry and kind of will shrink up and shrivel. And then you have to remove it and start over again. So that is it. So these are tack free. You can touch them right after. If you did use a top gloss like our gloss top coat that is tacky, I would give it a spray with the cleanse and a wipe, and then you're good to go. Then it removes the tacky layer for you. So that is everything for the manicure this week. And then I'll just show you guys this week's sale item, the Get the Look. We started doing a Get the Look kind of package. So the Get the Look package this week is the Tortoise Mani, and it includes a clean, a prep, a residue remover, a base, a matte, and a shine top coat. Can you see that? Zoom out for you a little bit. A matte and a shine top coat. 2 color gels, which are Chai and Island Time, and 2 glass gels, which are Shaded Glass and Pumpkin Glass. And then the dual-ended detailer, which is this little guy. He's got teeny tiny short end and kind of a medium length end on him. And yeah, that's included all in the kit this week. If you're interested in it, just check out the website. And that's everything for this week. And I will see you guys next week, Wednesday, I believe it is. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.